What up, IDS Mob? HarryWilmington here. And today, we're going to be answering a question from a guy that wants to know, is it best to give a woman the time and space to text me when she's available to set up a date? So I'm going to read through his scenario. He's going through a situation where basically he's been trying to set up a date with a woman, and then these things keep coming up that prevent her from being able to do the date. Are they legitimate excuses? Are they not? And more importantly, should this guy be leaving it up to her to decide when she's going to text him and let him know if she's free for a date? It's a lot of interesting scenarios going on here, so we're going to get into all that. As always, guys, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com and sign up for the Introvert Dating Success Academy. Go there and get a 2-day free trial right now. Hundreds of hours of content ready at your fingertips to listen and watch, to learn how to date the right way and land the woman of your dreams. Again, free trial, 2-day free trial at introvertdatingsuccess.com. Let's get into this guy's message. So he says, I knew this girl from a previous job I worked. We were friends there, and one time I asked her out. I didn't get a response and was fine with it and treated her the same. Great job. A lot of guys get freaked out when they ask a woman out and she acts like she didn't get the message or she didn't get the question, and then they just, you see them the next day at work and she treats you and talks to you like you never even asked the question, but you didn't freak out. Kudos. Guys, always keep your cool. Women are getting your messages. If they're not answering right away, it could be they're not interested. It could be they're messing with somebody else, but they're not sure if that's going to work out, but they don't want to give you a yes yet. Because there could be a plethora of reasons. The point is, when this kind of thing happens, don't freak out, because women will do that sometimes. Continuing, he says, later, we started talking more and then exchanged numbers. Before she left the job and found something else, she actually asked me out. Great job. Now, this was a movie date, so I really couldn't get to talk to her too much, but I'd say she was talking at least 90% of the time, and I just asked questions. So guys, this is actually a great example of why it is you don't leave it up to women to choose the date you all go on. Because a lot of times, women will go for the traditional stuff, the movies, the dinners, and all this stuff. And not that these are like bad things, but you really want to try to find some kind of date where you guys can really bond and connect and talk to each other. A movie date is not one of those things, because even though she's talking 90% of the time, she's talking to him, before the movie and a little after the movie on the way to the car, but during the movie, no talking's happening. And so you want to kind of reserve movie dates for later in the dating process when you've got to know her a little bit more. But because she suggested it, he had to go along with it. Guys, you should always be the one coming up with suggestions for what you guys are going to do, and it should definitely not be a movie, because women will choose dates that are actually going to be to the detriment of getting to know you and the detriment of their ultimate feelings about you, all right? You're the guy. You need to know how to lead this thing, and it starts with you picking the date. So if she'd have come to me and said, hey, you want to go see a movie? It's not that I would have rejected it, but I would have probably said, hey, that's fine, but let's do something beforehand. We can do that and then go see a movie. That way you have another activity you're doing that's a bit more active and lets you get to know her a little bit more than just doing the movies. Anyway, continuing on, he says, we had a great time, then walked to her car. And I walked her to her car. We talked a bit more, and she was lingering there, but I got too much into my head and just told her good night, without even going for a hug or kiss. Big mistake on my part, I feel. At the time, I just felt that she was way too much out of my league. All right, so I'm tired of this whole, a lot of you guys watch my channel and have these questions about, I want to talk to this girl, I want to kiss her, I want to do this thing, but I just feel she's out of my league. And that, honestly, is a projection. It's you thinking to yourself, I have less value than her because of whatever reason. I'm not as handsome, I'm not tall enough, I don't weigh the right amount, I don't have any muscles, I have no money. And so you're looking at this girl, and based on how hot she is, you're assessing the kind of value that you feel she has, and that therefore she also feels that she has. And I can assure you, you're incorrect. The majority of women out there, unfortunately, have a little self-esteem problem. The world's taught them that how their body is and how they look and the way they're presenting themselves is in nowhere near comparison to these models and people that are on billboards and all this other stuff. But I say that to you because that means that women walk around with a lower level of self-esteem just based on how the world is to them. Now, that's a shame, and that's something that needs to change. But it's actually a positive for you in the dating world because it can hopefully get you out of your head into thinking she must think she's hot stuff. I can assure you, most women don't think they're hot stuff. Most women could probably tell you off the top of their head, like the 50,000 mistakes about their face, about their arm, about how one of their boobs is bigger than the other one, about their lopsided limp when they walk. Like, they have this in their head, and they're doing everything they can on those first few dates to make sure that you don't notice it, okay? So she's in her head too, and she's not sitting over there thinking, well, I'm out of his league and I'm better than him. The fact that she even went on a date with you lets you know that that didn't happen. She asked you on the date. She chose the activity. None of these things indicate that she therefore thinks that she's better than you or that she's out of your league, because if she thought that, she wouldn't have asked you on the date, all right? So guys, if you have these women out here that are legitimately giving you a shot and saying yes to dates and going on dates with you, that means on some subconscious part of her head, she thinks that you're in her league. So let that be the proof that you are in her league and that you need to get out of your head and stop thinking so less of yourself and start thinking, man, she said yes to a date. I must have some kind of value. And don't base your value on a woman saying yes or no to a date with you, but just recognize the fact that women are going out with you means that they see you as somebody that is worth being in a relationship with on some level in the first place. Anyway, continuing, he says, so he didn't make a move. He didn't try to kiss her. He didn't go for nothing like that. So he says, I couldn't get another date with her. Not surprising, because he didn't make a move. She kept wanting to make it a group thing with her friends, but I declined. I feel this was the best answer. Yes, we do not do group dates. In fact, those first 3 months of dating, you really shouldn't be meeting any kind of her friends or family, and you definitely shouldn't be agreeing to, double dates, group dates, etc. All right, I'm gonna do a show about that in a little while. But anyway, continuing, he says, so fast forward months later, we got back in touch. I'd be curious to know if he reached out to her or she reached out to him. He doesn't say. But he says, and she invited me to another movie again. And in parentheses, she loves these movie dates, it seems. Once again, her idea. Once again, you should have come up with something different. See, you understand this, guys. Women are going to suggest things in part because they don't necessarily know if you have any other interest. And a movie's like an easy thing. Like, hey, let's go to a movie, because universally, most people like movies. That does not mean you have to say yes to that particular date. You could say, hey, you know what? A movie sounds fun, but why don't we do putt-putt golf? Why don't we do laser tag? Why don't we try this new restaurant that has like this weird quirk about it, Like her suggesting that is just because she's coming to you and wanting to do something, and she only has like 1 or 2 activities in mind. But you as the guy are the one that's supposed to have the ideas. So, already always have in your arsenal 3 to 5 ideas. I talk about this extensively in the Introvert Dating Success Membership Academy, in the program, the Top Secret Dating Blueprint. I talk about why it is important that you have a bunch of ideas already set to go. So when women come to you and are saying yes to dates, you don't have to sit there like, I don't know what to do, or I talk about the kind of dates you should be trying to get women on, and then why it's important for you to do that, all right? So always have dates ready to go in your head. No parts of your town that fun stuff's happening. Continuing, he says, a week before, she texted me out of the blue, showing that she was excited to see me, saying how many days were left until we went out. I took that as a good sign. The day of the date, she had to cancel many hours before, which was nice. She texted right in the morning. And then in parentheses, he said she did offer a rain check, even wanted to pay the ticket and apologize for this. So, and because I've read through this whole thing, I'm going to say for this part right now, at least she canceled the morning of, and, which is nice because she didn't do it very, very last minute, but, and I'll get into the reason why she did. So let me get to that part. She says the reason was there was a C-19 outbreak at her work, so she didn't want to expose anyone. I wished her well and told me to keep me up to date on how she is and hope she was doing okay. She did update me once or twice a week on the situation, 5 days of C-19 testing. So this is one of those things where early on in the process with somebody, when you're trying to date them, when these things come up and they give you like what's an excuse to why they can't suddenly do a date, they could be true or they could not be true. You're not going to know. Like he's not going to go over to her place to see if she has C-19 symptoms, And so this is one of those things where regardless of whether you think it's phony or not, again, you don't freak out. This is also important why early on in the dating process, you should also be continuing to talk to other women and not putting all your eggs in one basket. Because when these kind of things come up, if you're not seeing other people, it could very much rattle you or have you thinking like, oh my God, I gotta do more to go after her. No, you don't. Like if she's canceling dates, oh well, you have 2 other women that you can ask out and go on dates with. Because during the dating process, perfectly acceptable. Once you're in a relationship, not acceptable. But during the dating process, you're just trying to find out who's going to be the right match for you. And so you're trying to figure her out. If she cancels the date, find some other people that are on your roster that you can also try to figure out to see if you're going to ultimately come to the point where you choose one of them as your girlfriend, all right? The other thing I wanted to mention too, very important. If you are not in a relationship with the woman, do not say things like this. I told her to keep me up to date on how she is. No, that is boyfriend behavior. You're not the boyfriend. And when you do things like this, again, these are things that it's very like, if you're not accustomed to how dating works and the psychology of dating and things that you need to say or not, this would seem like a very innocent thing. Oh, hey, keep me posted on this and that. But that really signals as if you're saying, I've already chosen you as my person and you need to let me know how you're doing, what you're doing, etc. And it's a subconscious thing, but it is a thing that makes it feel like it's already a relationship. The problem is you don't want to give a woman that feeling prior to her saying that she wants to be your girlfriend. So if she would have said to me, hey, this C19 thing broke out in my school, yada, yada, I'd be like, okay, great. I'll talk to you then in a week. I wouldn't be asking for updates. She doesn't owe me that because I'm not her boyfriend yet, all right? Continuing on, he says, then she was with her sister, which her family's in the process of moving, so she's been busy with that now. Her sister got C19, so she updated me on that, saying she had to quarantine again because of this. She's still helping her family move. She said her sister is getting better, thankfully. I told her to get back in touch when things are a bit more balanced out and we can set up a time to go out. And then in parentheses, he says he brought up another date idea that she had in the past in this exchange. She wrote back, one day I'll have me time again, ha ha ha, at the end of her message, giving updates on her situation again. All right, lot to unpack here. So basically, guys, again, we don't know if all this is true, but we can assume that if her sister's moving, that's a legitimate thing. Her sister catching C19 and then also moving, that's a little more far-fetched. But the point is that, again, we don't know if this, because we don't know her life enough at this stage of the dating process to know if this is the thing that's happening or not. All we know is this is what she's saying. So again, this is not a situation where you can freak out because you don't actually know. But to the point, here's what he should not have said, is he should not have said, I told her to get back in touch when things are a bit more balanced out. We can set up a time to go out again, okay? Because here's the thing, is that early on, as best as you can, you are not trying to leave the power of going out on a date in her hands. And when you say things like, hey, get back to me whenever, you basically now cut the legs from under you of being able to contact her for a date. Because when you say, hey, you contact me when you're ready, it's all up in her hands. What would have been better to say is, oh, hey, your sister's moving, you know what, that's totally fine. Go ahead and handle that. I'll hit you up some other time. That way it still leaves the control and power of hitting her up in your hands, and you're not acquiescing and giving the power away to her, because now it would be dumb to try to contact her because you've already said, I'm going to leave it to you to contact me when you're ready. So if you contact her and she's not yet ready, then it seems kind of weird and awkward. And now it seems like you're kind of being a little needy because you're hitting her up even though you told her to hit you up, and don't you have any other prospects, yada, yada, yada. So you never want to do that, guys. Always try to have the power of asking her out in your hands. Even if she eventually says, no, she doesn't want to do it, or she keeps flaking, you want to leave the door open for you to be able to reach out to her for these kind of things, okay? Now at the point where she just says, hey, I'm not interested, or she starts ghosting, then you want to kind of leave it alone. And then at the point where she contacts you of her own accord, that lets you know that things are back on and popping. But even then you don't say, well, I know she ghosted me, so I guess hit me up whenever. Really don't do that stuff, okay? Anyway, he says, so that was a week ago. I haven't heard back since. Well, of course, you left it in her hands and she's busy, she has C19 again, or she's not interested. You don't get to know because you left the power of contacting in her hands. He says, so I guess my best action at this point is what I've been doing is just chilling back and letting her get back to me when she can. From your information, it seems like the best bet and not to get perturbed. Yeah, you can't really, at this point, you've already left it in her hands, so you gotta go by your word. You said, hey, I'll wait for you to hit me up, so now you gotta wait. And she may never hit you up. Or she may. But as I've said on this program many times, women that are interested in you help you. Women that aren't and don't won't. So if she has a high enough interest, then yeah, she'll hit you up and be like, let's go, hey, what's going on? Here's how I'm doing. What's up with that date? If she doesn't hit you up, it means that she really either wasn't highly interested, or she got distracted by life, or she got distracted by another dude. It doesn't matter. The point is, if she doesn't hit you up, then she's not interested, which is fine, because you should be concentrating on multiple women during this dating phase, so that way, if this kind of thing happens, you're not perturbed. And you shouldn't be. Like, the reality is, you're dating with the intent of trying to find hopefully one woman that's going to work. So you're going to have to date through a few women that aren't going to work, and that maybe you're attracted to and they're not attracted to you, or vice versa. Totally fine. Totally acceptable. But yeah, because you've already said, hey, hit me up, you could try hitting her up again, but it's really like you left it in her hands, and so that's where it's kind of got to stay, Sorry to say that, but hopefully this teaches you for future situations that you should not be leaving the power of contacting in a woman's hands. All right? And again, that's something you can learn if you have a little bit more coaching and a little bit more time in the dating game. But if you want to curve that, because I'm like 20 something years into dating now. So if you don't want to have to wait 10, 15, 20 years to figure all this stuff out, the cheat code is right here at Introvert Dating Success Membership Academy at introvertdatingsuccess.com. Go there. It's like the Netflix of dating advice. We got hundreds of hours of content. We have some very niche content also, so you can learn, for example, the full dating process of how to go from meeting and greeting a woman to taking her on a date, all the way to being the boyfriend and girlfriend in 3 months by checking out the Top Secret Dating Blueprint. You can go to the Smart Digital Dating part of the course, where you'll learn how to do online dating the right way. You can learn how to stop miscommunicating with women with the Stop Miscommunicating with Women mini course. We have 28 to 30 different shows where I interview dating experts on a wide variety of different things about dating, hooking up, how women feel attraction, etc. The program is fantastic. It's freaking sweet. It's like all the years of me giving advice put into one full thing, and I'm constantly updating it. Plus, you get unlimited email conversations with me. So if you have a situation you're going through with a woman, dating in general, not trying to figure out how to get rid of anxiety when you're dating, you'll be able to write me directly, and I'll answer those questions for you in email form, which will also be a lot faster than I do with these videos, all right? So you can go there, get a 2-day free trial, check it out. If you like it, great. If not, then it is what it is. But either way, check it out, and I promise you're gonna get a lot out of it, all right? Anyway, guys, thanks for checking out today's episode. Be sure to, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like this channel, subscribe to this channel, like the video. And if you guys have any questions you want me to answer on one of these shows, you can write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. Again, if you want your question answered faster, join the Academy, or you can sign up for one-on-one coaching at the website as well. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Introvert Dating Success Podcast. Visit us at introvertdatingsuccess.com for more great tips on attracting women using your natural introvert charm. Oh, yeah.